Hello everyone on this shiny, a little cool in the morning here, Saturday. What am I doing here? Like in between some railroad stuff and, well, I had a friend that works nearby right here, which is actually fairly close to the mountain fortress. That's still a few miles away. And he was talking to me about Utah treasure hunt. So I talked with him for a while. Really nice guy, liked the guy a lot. And he said that he told me about it because I'd never heard about it before, and was talking about the hint. So we started talking, well, and he thinks it's in this area. So he asked me, maybe I ought to come by, maybe get sparks or whatever, but I figured I'd come here first, get a good idea. But what I ended up doing is I decided to go home and go to the website and check it out. So I did. Well, the first line of the poem is, begin your search where time was transcendent. And I was like, oh, be anywhere. Then they have a hint about watch, what is it? Yeah, Back to the Future. Transcendent. What actually worked in Back to the Future was the DeLorean had a time module in it called a Flux capacitor. So that's why my friend thought Flux, because we're here in Flux. This area is called Flux. So I went back, I read everything, typed in Flux, Utah. I am standing on the waypoint. If you go to Google Maps and you type Flux, Utah, there's a red little mark that's pointing where I'm standing. And it's and this is where Google says that this is Flux. And it makes sense with some of the others. It says crack open the books, they're interdependent. I mean, Google's the biggest search and map engine unit. Whoops, I dropped my paper. So makes sense that yeah, this is sounds to me like this is the place to start. So I keep going down through the list of the poem. It says, lift up your eyes and look for the mark. Now I'm standing here, and there's, right where I'm standing, there's a bunch of railroad crossings. So if I look around here, I mean, there's a yield, there's sort of a railroad crossing marked there. There is one here and there, bunch of track here. I saw some people out there. I wonder if they've sort of thought something and are looking about this, because there's a guy in a not like a hang glider, but one of those motor driven parachutes. So I am going to start here today and see if I can figure out what it is and where this is. So there's other hints in here, and I know who owns all the property, which is the public property, which is not. So I've been able to narrow a few places down. So I'm going to try right now. So there is basically, in this area here, no public. It's all private, from what I know. I mean, you have to go a little bit ways. So lift up your eyes and look for the mark. We've got several marks. That's not like really seeming like it's going to be going anywhere or anywhere or anywhere. So I'm looking at this thing, this one here. I'm gonna look at that mark. So I'm gonna head over to here and then see about the next clue. Now here it says, hike to the tree that stands without bark. I'm on the back side of this thing. Hike to the tree that stands without bark. Now that could mean like poles and stuff, but we do have a dead tree down there, right on the side of the road. I'm gonna go down and take a look at that tree, because it says the next thing out there is past the grain tower that looks out to the west. Well, there's a couple like, it's not a grain tower, it's a concrete little plant there. So, looks out, it can look out to the west there. There's sort of a point sort of that way. So I'm gonna head down to that tree. Now I'm standing next to this tree, which is missing all its bark. It has a couple pieces there, but it's mostly without bark. So I think I'm heading in the right way, but I'm gonna go and park. I'm gonna head to the fortress. I'm gonna trade this car in for an ATV. I'm back with the grabbed a two-wheel drive little ATV so I could roam around to the tree without bark. It says now past the grain tower that looks out to the west. Now, there's the grain tower. That way's east, this way's west. Not more than an hour, you'll know by its crest. Look down at your map not to wander with thirst. Remember two less than on top of the first. So I'm not really sure here exactly what to do. You know when you're close when it is time to frown. What points towards heaven but is upside down. Get off the road with an airplane without wings. Now an airplane without wings could be a cabin, and there's the old cabin right over there, because this is like a little historical area. There used to be a gas station over here, a very old gas station before I-80 went in. So I'm looking around and let me see if I can figure something out here, because they said that there's supposed to be some mat. Remember, two less than on top of the first. I'm not really sure. So, and then get off at the road with the airplane without wings. Search from the shoulder and fortune it will bring. Now, get off the road at the airplane without wings. Well, here's the road. You get off this road at the cabin without wings. But there's a bunch of things here. Remember two less on top of the first. And you know when it's close, when it's time to frown. So I'm going to do some thinking here, because I do know down the road here there's a gas main pipe that comes up. It looks almost sort of like maybe a candy cane or the letter 7. I saw a lot of people think that like maybe the letter 7 has some meaning, and it's just down here just a little ways. So I know that pretty much all this is private except for over by the cabin there's an area. But on all my property stuff, it doesn't show that it's owned by anyone, which probably means it's federal government. But it's not labeled as BLM, but I think it is. It's BLM or something like that. And then we've got a little piece right in here by the Morgan Asphalt weigh scale, which is Sitla. And then the Sitla comes back over here. But at the moment, we're private ground. We have to leave a little bit ways. So the edge of the boundaries of the private land to get to Sitla is coming right up here, and we'll get over here in a second. All right here, I'm at the border. It's private this way, private this way. I'm still looking to try to see what something can be. Two less than on, what's the one here? Two less than on top of the first. Two less than top of the first. I was wondering if something might, I doubt they would have put it here since this is part of their stuff, but I'm just wondering if there was like maybe a mark. Is it on top of something? There's something on top of something. Is there any like marks? Anybody on top of the first? Two less than on top of the first. What's that? Somebody write something on that? It says UDOT. Huh. All right, well, I'm gonna look around and try to figure out what the next thing would be. Thing is, come down a little bit. Those concrete blocks are about 20 strides, which is about that 60 feet from the road. If I come down here, I get, where is it here? Remember two less than on top of the first. On top, this is the first, because there's other numbers. Two less, which would be 809, whatever that means. I don't know. So this may be just nothing, but I'm just doing a little bit of math here like they were saying. So 2 less of 811 is 809, which I am not really sure what that is going to mean. 809 feet from it. So let's keep going. Also, I mean, I backtracked a little bit to where that thing sort of looks like a grain tower, but it's not. Just and also approximately within the on the one talking about perhaps it could be like 60 feet. There's also some numbers on this Pacific Corp on 2 less on top of the first. So 11301006. So 11301002 2 less is 4. So still don't really know what that would mean, or what that number was for. That's a really big number. Maybe that's some sort of, they figured out it was close to, I'm just not sure. So let's keep going. Okay, the thing that said what points toward heaven but is upside down, I just sort of noticed that these power poles right here, they're like crosses, which could mean like that, you know, similar to like the cross used for the Christ's crucifixion. And it seems to me, in my mind, that somewhere out here was one that was laying down. So I'm wondering, it says, you know, you're close where it's time to frown. So what points toward heaven but is upside down. I believe there was one around here, and I can't remember where it was. It seems like it's somewhere right in this area here. There might be one over here. So, because I have to stay along the boundary zone. I can't like really go into any of the private property areas. So, but I do remember that, I remember looking around one time and there was one. So I'm gonna have to like search around, because it says get off the road at the airplane without wings. I'm not really sure. You'll know you're close with time of frown. What points? Get off the road at the airplane without wings. So, well, thinking somewhere right here. I'm just gonna like search around, because there's a cabin, an airplane without wings. Search from the shoulder, and fortunately, if it's 60 feet in the shoulder, we got this main road here. There's the road that goes along the rail, and we got stuff around here. So let's just take some time and do some driving around and see what I can find. Found this just offside the road. I hadn't noticed it before. Just some of the old stuff back from when this place was first settled, when they were moving out here, because this was the main road that people went to California at one point in time. So I'm gonna keep looking, see if I can find any more clues. I found some more of the old stuff that's been out here for a long time. I'm searching over here. The pole I think is over there, but I just wanted to search here because there's that other unit right there, which is a gas line area, and sort of looks like a 7, like people were talking about. So I just figured I'd just look around here just a little bit before I head over to that side. That's only a small area over there that directly across that Sitla, and then I'll have to probably check out the other. But I've been noticing that there's a red truck that keeps driving back up in there. And this is the guys with that ultralight or whatever that is that they had. So I'm wondering if they're thinking that they're going down that road. So, well, I know this is one of the power posts that were had fallen down, but I don't see a cross piece on this one. There's one here. Don't know if it's over there. The other one's over here. I'll keep searching around, because it says you'll know you're close where it is time to frown, what points towards heaven but is upside down. I don't know if there's anything that looks like a frown on the post. Alright, well, I'll keep searching this area. I know the box is fairly big. I should be able to see it. The only issue is if they stuck it like right under the sagebrush on the side, then it might be hard to see from one side or the other. Well, I am now standing on like the remains of like the gas station. There's some of the power pole pieces here. Look, could be like for that cross on the like for the power lines. But I'm like trying to see here. There's just a cross piece here. And I am trying to see if there's like something bigger, something I'd really recognize right around here. So I will keep looking. That was a neat, there was like an old gas station that got dozed over. Log there. All right, well, I'll keep looking. When I go to that one post with a crest and it talks about 2 less than the top of the first, I was guessing it was reading about 809 feet. And it says get off the road, so I figured 90 degrees off the road. So I went one way, but I didn't see anything going out that way. But the other one actually brings me back closer to the cabin. It actually seems like it somewhere right in this area right here. I'm just guessing on the 809 feet because I had no way of really measuring. So here, but I still didn't see what points to heaven, but it's upside down. Yeah, I mean, they could have been talking about that same thing on that grain silo or whatever, but I'm not really, or the batch plant. So I'm just been searching to keep my eyes open for a power pole with its cross piece on it laying down. I could be completely wrong on this, but so I'm going to search around the old cabin here. That's interesting enough. There's like an old cold shelter or something right here. Last time I was here years ago, it was still all together, but now it is collapsed in on itself. So I'm gonna take a look around here. My friend had already looked around here, but I think he's pretty close because I took some of I had some other hints that sent me over here. So I'll keep looking. Okay, look what I just found, like right next to the this fallout. It's a cross. It looks like it's been sitting there for a long time. It says I'm near. I think that could just be, I mean, it's been sitting like that for a while, so I don't know. Let me take a look at the poem again. Now this was one of the old roads. So the last thing is search from the shoulder and fortune it will bring. So I'm wondering if it's alongside either edges of this road here. So I'll just keep looking around. There's that cross right there. There's the shoulder. And in this area right here is about 60 feet, 20 strides away. So I'm going to keep searching around in this area. A lot of cool stuff around here. What's really weird is all these nearly round rocks. Like tons of them all here. Big pile. Oh. I don't really think that they would put it like right next to the cabin because somebody might actually come across it without even doing on the search. So, spread out a little bit farther. According to my lines, it would be somewhere in this area. I'm on top of this mound of dirt here, and from that sign almost to right around where the cabin is about 800 feet, maybe 800 or 900 somewhere. But then when we got the road there, maybe from that road to here, I'm guessing I'm like probably around 500 feet. There's another mound of dirt over there. Maybe that's 800 and something feet. So I'm gonna walk over to that and take a look. Now on this other mound looking that way, haven't spotted anything. A lot of big bushes there. You could hide almost anything there. We have just one more mound on a bush there. So just for fun, I'm gonna get over here. Sort of a beautiful area in this area, right next to a giant plant, and property lines right there. So we're on, I believe, is public lands, but that line goes right along where they have their materials. I'm just gonna take a quick look up here and then get back on the ATV and just start riding around. Now I'm on the last mound here, sort of a trail. Very interesting, probably where the cows have been going. And there's some stuff up there. So I'm gonna get on the ATV so I can zoom around here much faster. Interesting. I see a bunch of tracks. This area, like a bike or a wagon or wheelbarrow or something right here. Trying to see exactly where it comes and goes. Oh, this is the road on the edge of the railroad. So I don't see it going this way. I just saw it go that way. Interesting. Well, just for fun, I drove the ATV far back up here. There's another tree with no bark, but we're way out of the area I would think of it. And there's the cabin. Does look sort of interesting, like if you're down by that area and you look over there, the way the train track turns sort of like a frown. I noticed that from Google Maps, but I don't know if that's just something that just tells you that you're in the right area. So, but where the frown is, that's on private property, so definitely not in that green area over there. Now, I'm just thinking it's got to be somewhere in that area right down there. So I'm gonna do a little bit more checking, but then I'm gonna probably head over to the fortress. It's just next door here, and then get something to drink, and then maybe come swing back. I headed over to the base depot below the fortress to grab something to drink and grab some water. And I head back over and just look at my point of origin real quick. There's another possibility. I'm gonna take a checkup real quick, but I really don't think so. But I'm just gonna ride down and make another quick overview and then determine what I'm gonna do from there, because I've got a lot of other stuff to do, and just searching and not finding anything is sort of fun, but got things to do. Now, going all the way back from the beginning, if I go back to that point on Google Maps, I had a bunch of railroad signs, and I was sort of assuming at a point that it wasn't going to be a long distance from that. But what if I was wrong? Because I just realized this is a new plant over here with a silo. So instead of heading south, it talks about like going for no more than a mile, no more than an hour. This is like getting out, not quite a mile yet, but I also knew that there was some old power lines out here with the crosses on them that have fallen over. So I'm gonna head down this way. So it says you pass by that, but it talks about, you know, a tree with no bark. It could be those signs. So I'm gonna head down here and see what's going on. Okay, I went up the road a little bit, turned around, came back, read the poem again. And this is, if you're coming this way from the waypoint on Google, this is on the west side of the road. And at the very end it says, get off the road with the airplane without rings. Was it a cabin? Could also mean building, I would guess. So, search from the shoulder and fortune will bring it. Also talks about things like not more than an hour, you know, by its crest. And this is not more than a mile away. And you'll know you're close when it is time to frown. If you look at that hill, there's like a giant frown right there. Okay. And then what points towards heaven but is upside down? Well, the old power line is there, and there's one that is at an angle right there. It's like at a 45, and I believe there's one all the way on the ground out here someplace. So I am going to get off and head out there. I think it looks like somebody has driven out here already, so that'll be interesting. I'll head out there, and it says search by the shoulder, search from the shoulder, and fortune it will bring. Well, if I'm sort of looking from here and looking, I can sort of tell that one of them is tipped over, and I think one has fallen over there. So we'll try it from here too. This is another, because the tower on the other one's on the east side. When it says facing west, I was thinking maybe it was from the tower's perspective, but maybe from the road's perspective, I would be facing west at that. So let's head out here and take a look. Now, another thing I noticed is that there's that building, the cabin. There is these signs all along here for this pipeline, and two less than the top of the first. 811, I'm thinking 809, so I'm thinking 809 feet from here out. 809 feet, that's about where those power poles are, where the old line is, and some has fallen. So I'm now thinking that maybe I was wrong about the original cabin back there, but it's maybe like this newer building right here, and that what looks like a granary thing, but you know, sort of, I don't know. The poem is vague enough to mean quite a few things. So I'm gonna take another run out here on the old ATV and see what we have over here. I'm definitely, one points to heaven but is upside down. It really does seem to me that I'm pretty sure that's going to be something to do with a power pole. So it makes sense, because if you're out here, there's not much, there's bushes, so you need something to mark to. And there was an old line right out here a long time ago. They replaced it with the new lines out here. So all right, let's head out. Well, here it is, this one. Somebody has already been here before me, and they're heading that way. So there's one of the other posts. There should be one falling down somewhere out here, but I'm not the first one here. I've gone around. There's definitely one person that's been searching out here, it looks like. I'm quite a bit to the north of that like silo, and the issue is out here, any farther back in this area gets really muddy. It's all become swampland, and not exactly certain if I'm on private or public land. I'm pretty sure it's public land, but this far north I'm not that sure. But the main power pole that's over is that one down there, but I didn't see anything. We've got this one here, and I really can't go any farther because of the swampy conditions. Could be maybe somewhere over here, but I am going to head back and look a little bit at that first pole. Well, I'm guessing around 800 feet, which might be in this area right here. That one old power line, it's angled and pointing sort of this direction. And from the numbers marked off on that, 809 feet, I was sort of guessing I ought to look out here, try to find some things that sort of stick out. Because I don't think they're just going to put it right on the flats. I think they'll put it like next to a bush or on a mound or something. That's all I'm guessing. So I'm going to take another quick look, and if I don't find anything, I think I'll be done for the day. Well, going along the line, I'm backtracking. I went all the way that way with the power poles. Now I'm heading this way. This is the first power pole that's completely on the ground. Pointing, you know, so I don't know if you think it's pointing that way, or maybe it's pointing right over here. But we still have other power poles. There's another one that's pointing sort of in this general direction over here. But we're still now a little bit of ways from where that sign says. So I'm not really sure if the idea was we like find that, but then we go back to the main road and it's gonna be off the main road, 60 feet or what? So I'm gonna look around some more and figure out what to do next. I can't do this much longer. Woo! Warm out, hot and tired. I searched a few places. It sort of came up with a bust. However, met a guy here that was also looking for the treasure. He was in a car driving up and down the road that right next to where I was scanning out. I did notice lots of other tracks out there where I was searching. He's gonna search around. I talked with him. I gave him pretty much what I knew. He told me some other history on the Flux and some, you know, things about it. So it's okay, but can't spend any more time on that. I think I might give Sparks a call. Definitely giving Diesel a call here, and maybe he'll ask Sparks if he wants to bring the crew out and search. But for now, I'm gonna end this video, because I'm gonna get up to the top of the fortress, and I got a bunch of block to put in today. So, and I got to get me something good to drink. So thanks you all for watching, and please subscribe and hit the like button, and you can click on the notifications for whenever I have a new video, and I'll see you on the next video.